I decided to do a quick video of just about how I recycled my LM2 ORTUR enclosure for my LM3 model laser. And here you can see it's a pretty simple job to do. I actually made a piece of plastic that goes across the front, took off the existing front panel that was there, and I'll show you in a little while, but it fit right in there perfectly. The front's out with a control panel and, you know, also the wireless connection and everything else. So it, you know, it's a really perfect fit. And I just figured, you know, if anybody else out there is getting ready to upgrade, I'd give you an idea here. And you can see the way I had tied those cables to the side just made it a really nice tight fit in there. And the grid is the old grid. It's not the right grid, but I've been running a lot of tests with this on pieces, different types of material. One thing I can tell you, though, is that cheap Home Depot underlayment plywood, don't try to use that with a laser. You can see what happens when you try cutting it. It just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like tinder once the laser hits it. But, you know, the harder wood, the birches and maples and stuff like that, I'm really getting down my settings, and you can see the beautiful job this does at cutting, and with that air assist you get really clean cuts. So you know, this definitely is the best laser so far. And let's go look at this now. I did have a monitor mounted on this when I did the original video about it, and a little keyboard place on the side. There's my old LM2 Pro with the upgraded 10-watt laser on, and that's another great machine. You can see they're both plumbed outside. On this one, when I did the video on the LM3, I showed you that they actually sent this Diwali Fan for me to use, and I have that hooked up now to the enclosure. I had to reduce it down to a 4-inch output. It was a 6-inch, but just too much power. I couldn't open this cover when I turned it on, so I actually had to put a couple little spacers there, 1/8-inch rubber spacers, just to get a gap so the vacuum wouldn't build too big in it. But definitely not a drop of smoke in the air. This really handles it good. And you can see on the bottom there, I did make a plastic piece to go up and seal the inside, and I did put 20mm by 20mm extrusions. I mounted them where the feet go so I could get the overhang without any tilting or anything. And there you can see the extrusions. I just cut them to length and drilled them to match the existing feet holes. And that raised it up, and I also put rubber no-slip feet on it, and then I did plug that hole back there. So let's go around to the back and look, and you can, you know, see that I did take the front panel that was used with the LM2, and I cut that down to use that as a fan mount. Just took a cutting wheel and cut that off and drilled some holes and mounted the fan with it. I made a plastic plate to cover that old hole because that just didn't have enough suction for the 10-watt unit. And then I drilled a hole in the top here, just a rough hole with a hole saw. Then I put the fan in place, went back, marked it out, and cut it out to the 6-inch diameter with this pair of crazy tin snips here. About a 1/16 bigger than the fan, and then just went back with some silicone. And all I had was high temperature blue, so that's what I used. There's the air assist line going in. I've got the pump on the outside here, and you know, the monitor arm and everything. So it's a completely self-contained unit, and there is a light wired in there also. 2 PCs sitting on the bottom, one for the light burn and the other one for some old software that won't run on Windows 10. And here we go, there's light burn, and you know, this is set up to run both of these machines. Now I, you know, can plug the USB in and run them both off it, but only one at a time with light burn. Now here's the old LM2 that came out of the enclosure, and that's going to have to go in. I'm going to have to make a laser museum, I think, because, you know, I've got so many old ones now. And this is the original Laser Master that I started with. I purchased that from GearBest about 2.5 years ago, and got started in all this and before I got hooked. Now here's the X tool that I'm decommissioning now because you know, it's just not as good as the LM3, so that's coming out of service, and there will be something to replace it, so there will be some new videos soon. And I just thought I'd show you what I did with that Atomstack A7. I took that apart, cut down all the pieces of it, and flipped all the motor drives inside out and the belts on the outside, put some cable harness in there, and actually I turned the motor horizontal and I bent that bracket that holds the laser there, so I don't get any of that overhang or shake anymore that it had originally. It's really smooth now, and it's a portable unit for making signs. You can make signs 10-12 feet long with this if you want, just to index them. And there it is. You can see I mounted 2020. These are 48-inch 2020 extrusions that I had left over from my slab flattener, and I just mounted them in there. Got the control box and stretched all the wires and stuff, so that's mounted out front there, and it will run off the SD card or USB. I did mount the power brick there, and it can run either off the power brick, or I have an adapter for a car battery, so you can run it off that too if you really want to get portable. And basically it's just a big table for making signs there, you can see. It does do 360 millimeters by 1,000 millimeters, no problem. And it's all mounted to be portable on a old Evolution saw stand. You see the brackets are screwed on the bottom, so I can just pop that laser off and carry that, fold up the stand, and carry the two pieces anywhere I want. It's really portable and easy to move. So I just thought I'd share this as an idea of a way to make something better that you have that you're not using anymore. And again, there'll be a new laser in the future. Stay tuned for videos. But for now, these two ORTUR units here are definitely my favorites, and they do the best job. And I must say I've had nothing but great support from ORTUR, and I think they're one of the better laser companies out there. Now back to looking at this fan. Here's a wireless remote that goes with it. It's got a 2-speed wireless remote, so I just stuck that with double-sided tape on the front there where I can get right at it. That makes it nice. I can't use high speed. High speed I can't get the cover open, so I'm just using the low speed on it because it's really overkill, but it's it's working good. And you can do other wiring on it too, I think. And there's where I put the air pump for the air assist, so it's really easy to get at and turn on and off and adjust. So I just wanted to show you a couple ideas. If you do want to upgrade, you can reuse that enclosure if you're not going to really use the rotary on it, and everything just fits perfect in there. Couple pieces of plastic is all it takes. Now I wanted to show you, I'm not sure if everybody knows that in Lightburn there is a test generator that was added recently, and that's what I've been using to run all the testing on this laser. And it's I'm going to show you in a little while just how it works. So I just created a pattern, turned on the fans there now, and I'm going to run a test pattern just to get an idea of what the cuts look like at the different speeds and powers, and just to determine, for each material that I use exactly what the settings should be. And it's really a great way to get a baseline. I'm so glad that they incorporated it in here. So you can set up, the number of boxes you want in the vertical and horizontal rows, and the powers and speed ranges, and really versatile. It works and takes seconds to set up. And it's really a great tool that they did incorporate in Lightburn. I think it's one of the reasons why I really like Lightburn. They just keep making improvements. But you can see I've got that gap there for the air to flow, and if that wasn't there I couldn't get the cover open. And with that there I get absolutely zero fumes because I have really nice airflow right across the laser area. And pretty much you can see the nice clean cuts that this laser gives, and the generator actually gives you the power and speed right on there. So this is a piece of hard maple plywood, 6 millimeters, a little over 6 millimeters thick, that I ran here, and just to get kind of a baseline on it. And you can see the beautiful, clean, non-burned cuts this gets. You know, you just pop the pieces out. Actually, that first piece will come out too. I can cut that down to 50% power, 100 millimeters per minute, right through this 6 millimeter hard plywood. It's unbelievable, this laser. You can just see how clean it cuts. Here, let me just pop that out too. It's kind of such a thin line to cut. It doesn't fall right out all the time. But so there you can see why I really like this laser so much. And the cuts are just beautiful. And that's, you know, I just wanted to do a little update on here. I'll be doing some more projects with it and stuff, but just you know, many people keep upgrading these lasers, and you know, sometimes you really have to get the best performance and be able to up your game, and this is the easy way to just reuse the previous enclosure if you have to. And stay tuned, there'll be some new laser videos coming in the future. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.